All right.
Louis.
But our thing is, what are you doing? Let me ask this question, Charles. And this is the question that I was hoping that someone would ask on this past Wednesday's call when I listened to that replay, and they let a particular individual speak of Michigan that it had me infuriated. And I was so glad that I was actually asleep on the call and I only could listen to the replay because it would have been a problem. And they gave this particular woman too much time to talk on this past Wednesday's call about her opinion in reference to assemblies. And she was of Michigan, and she has been on our Michigan Assemblies calls and told us that she will never make an assembly, ever. And we've had Michigan Assembly people that have supported her in court appearances. So I'm telling you, when I tell you I was talking back to the replay, it was ridiculous. I'm not kidding you. I was literally yelling at the replay of the call. And that was a reason, because I said, okay, so-and-so of Michigan is here proposing all this, that, and the third, but please, will someone ask them what are they prepared to do when these people go on these 5 and 10-minute rants? What have you done? What are you doing now? What are you prepared to do? Very simply, are you involved in your county assembly or township assembly or state assembly?
Yeah.
Just simple questions. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you get on here and go through, oh, yes, and this is what I'm talking about and doing this, that, and the third, please someone ask these people that.
Well, Louis, that's a matter of reconnaissance. All you got to do is figure out who the players are and where they're engaged and just formulate a structure right around the people who are currently engaged.
Yeah.
Because this woman has come on our calls and said that she's not going to do that. So, and again, our people have supported her in making appearances and supporting her with these, some of these administrative court appearances, and can speak specifically, firsthand knowledge. I wasn't there, but they called me during the time. They literally asked me to ban her from any of our future calls. And I took her position on that.
Are you giving me a hint? Am I reading this as a hint or something?
Well, this is on this past call. Charles was on this past call, past Wednesday's call, this union call. There was someone that was allowed to speak that identified themselves as being from Michigan and supported all of these efforts that they were speaking of, and they're not a member of the Michigan Assembly.
But if I might shift to another issue that's been on my mind here as you guys were talking, your football analogy. Let me get this right. The qualified electors are basically the football team. The town constable is the quarterback. Is that correct?
No.
Well, I was just using it as a loose analogy.
The town constable is not the quarterback. The town constable would be the referee in that position. Actually calling any of the offenses. And the justice of the peace would be one of the judges back in New York. For example, if there is a replay, any type of discrepancy on a call where they go to the replay and even the officials cannot determine the appropriate call, they then refer to a higher authority. That authority in the NFL is in their major offices in New York that are watching replays on everything, and those officials then say, this is the determination on this call, and that's accepted, period. Once it goes there and comes down, it doesn't matter if,
get your hierarchy right in my mind. So the quarterback as well as the linebackers, they're all equal qualified electors, basically?
They are. And the quarterback and whoever the defensive captain is that would be calling the plays on the defensive side are nothing more than facilitators on the field. That's what they are. And that's my position as the Wayne County facilitator on our Monday night's call. That's it. That's not an office. That's not a position of township constable. We're calling plays. We're kind of facilitating what's happening on the field. But that's it.
Louis, you've used this analogy to have a structural understanding of what you got unfolding there locally?
Oh, without question. Again, you happen to pick my favorite sport, and again, I went to Morgan State on a wrestling scholarship, but football was my favorite sport. That's what I played in all the way up through high school. I just didn't have the size to play at Morgan State. So yeah, in that analogy, a quarterback is nothing more than a facilitator of what's happening on the field. They are the ones that you made. You used calling a play in the huddle, and I've been in the huddle. I know what those discussions sound like. So it's a discussion. See, a quarterback may say, "Look, I'm calling this play." A wide receiver may say, "Look, we need to do X, Y, and Z. This man over here can't cover me." I want to call the quarterback again, maybe with direction from the head coach, run this play, ABC. Wide receiver wants to run XYZ. There's a discussion within 30 seconds in that huddle, and there must be a consensus when that huddle breaks. Everyone coming out of that, all 11 players must be of one accord. Otherwise, that play will not work. It's an automatic breakdown, period. You know that. Everyone must be on the same.
I have a friend over here in Las Vegas. I have a friend over here in Las Vegas who's running for mayor, and he's like a labor lawyer, not actually a lawyer, but he functions in that capacity. And he handles all the street entertainment here in Vegas. Very politically active. The entire political structure here is very aware of him and very afraid of him. And I have a lot of people like that are in the wings here in my influence, that very quickly I can tap into some traction and be able to, show up with quite a few people. I just don't want to do anything precipitously or foolishly. I'd like to have all the dynamics thoroughly understood and be able to bring the people into this, I guess you would say, team, and then have the support of the national organization like you guys, so that when we pick our targets, and I think I could put this together in the next couple of months, and this way, rather than keep theoretically and academically and abstractly speaking about this, put it into concrete terms and start unfolding some of these plays right there, street level, so they're actually in play, live. Have the thing all videotaped, everybody's got phones, do a complete analysis of everything that happened, do all the, just like you do on a football team. You study every one of your plays, you understand all the movements, where you went wrong, who fumbled the thing, and how to let that happen, understanding your opposition very well so that you match your team players with the enemy opposition properly. This can be done.
I think that's a very good analogy that you used. A very good, something that I would think that would need to be explored. And if you could present it to others, I'd certainly like to be involved in that conversation. I must take my leave of this call. I've stayed on longer than usual, and I really must take my leave at this time. We'll go further with this. I think that, but that analogy of the football, and I see that something that I relate to automatically, simply by nature. Football's always been a part of my life. So if you've got others that you have the ability to present something like that in that form, and then have continued discussion, I'd certainly like to be a part of that, Abraham.
All right, good enough. We got some traction.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Louis.
Good call, Charles.
All right, so Charles.
I yield.